Everyone has nightmares. But for actors, they can take a very different form because their worst nightmares happen when they are wide awake. Hi, I'm Luann Moldavin, and welcome to The Actor's Nightmare. We have a great story today, but before we get into it, I want to thank our sponsors who have been so supportive of the show. First, a big shout out to Artists Repertory Theater, Portland's premier regional theater company, producing intimate, provocative shows that provide a home for a diverse community of artists where they can thrive and take risks. Check out their 2019-2020 season at www.artistrep.org. Also, thanks so much to our patrons, Bob Conklin, and to Len and Susan Magazine and their company Realistats, providing statistical overviews for residential real estate in Oregon and Washington. Check them out at www.realistats.net. And of course, we are so grateful for the studio at North Rim, where we record our podcast. If you want to do a show, check them out at studioatnorthrim.com. All right, so today we have in the studio Vana O'Brien, the illustrious doyenne of the theater, the local theater. So you have done theater for a long time, and you went to college in
I went to
Bay Area?
Pomona College in Claremont.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And were you doing theater in college?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much your whole life?
Well, yeah, I did theater and college and just figured that was kind of it, because I was going to be a school teacher and a bride and all that stuff. And so I figured, well, that's the end of theater, and that's fine now. But when I got here to Portland, I took my son down for an audition who was, oh God, I think he was 8 then, and they needed a little kid in a show, and he loved doing the stuff in elementary school, so I took him down. He got the part, and I stood around watching him at rehearsals and thought, oh, this is fun. I forgot about this. And that's when I realized that there's a really active scene in Portland for smaller theater companies, not just companies coming in from, New York. So
right.
It was great.
But you studied theater at Pomona. And
a little
somewhat,
bit, but mostly I was a comparative literature major because I was going to be an English teacher.
I see.
Yeah.
So there was that gap. You got married to wonderful Mike. You had your beautiful children.
Yeah, we went in the Peace Corps. We did all kinds of stuff. We came to Portland because he had a job here, and I went to graduate school and finished my MSW. And that's when, the kids, because my daughter also, Eleanor, they started doing children's theater and theater at the New Rose at the time. And I thought, damn, they can do that. I can do that. Yeah.
Do you remember your first show?
Yeah. Officially, it was Sister Mary Ignatius Explains It All for You, which I did as a part of it was like a summer theater camp that a guy, Eric Overmeyer, who went on
great playwright.
On The Verge and a lot of, I believe he wrote a lot of The Wire.
Yes,
and
that's
also
right.
Treme. And so he was in town to do a show at the then Storefront Theater. He was the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, and so he taught these classes, and I was just sort of getting my feet wet, thinking maybe I can do this theater thing. And so he had us all choose parts, or he gave us all parts in one-act plays, and we went to 4 different weekends of classes, and then we performed our play. And so I did Sister Mary Ignatius.
That's a one-woman show.
Well, it's a lot of Sister Mary, but there's also, her students come to visit her and tell her why she really messed their lives up so much. And she ends up shooting one of them, so it was lots of fun. But I'd gone to Catholic school, so I thought,
a lot to relate to.
I get this. I could just channel some of those nuns.
There you
which
go.
was really fun.
Acting 101.
Yeah.
Well, would you say that you trained in doing the work?
Pretty much. It was watching. When I first started thinking I wanted to do theater, I realized it was actually out there. You didn't have to be in Broadway. Is that I just started going to theater a lot and watching people, watching, who were good directors, what kind of plays were being done, and then just doing, and then just starting to work and work and work. And that's how I learned, always with a little bit of feeling of, God, maybe if I had an MFA, I'd really know how to do this. But, mostly you just learn as an apprentice.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly right. An apprentice, yeah.
Right.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
So you have done a plethora of shows.
Yeah.
And happily, I'm not going to have you recite anything from the Signet days. But you were in a show with Ted Royson, may he rest in peace. You were in lots of shows with him, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. In fact, we did Faith Healer, the Brian Friel play for Signet. That's really one of my favorites ever.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, you had done something, and I don't know what theater it was, where there was a young man in the show. It was just the three of you?
Oh, yes, there was that nightmare. Yeah, Teddy and I were cast in a one-act play, a theater that is no longer here called Columbia Theater, and it was actually in the, they were big, for the most part, they were American classics, which uses lots and lots of actors in the space that is now a movie theater on Hawthorne, but this particular run was one-act plays, and so Ted and I were cast in a one-act play, and it had been written by a local playwright, and the story was that Ted was my boyfriend, and my son, who's, I don't know what happened to his father, but my son didn't like the boyfriend, a teenage boy full of lots of teenage angst and angry and growly and snarly. And the play primarily takes place, one set, in the kitchen, in which I am peeling apples and talking to Ted or talking to my son, and I have, as the play moves along, things get a little bit violent, and Ted and the son clash, and I intervene. So there's I have my knife, which I'm using to peel the apples.
A real knife.
A real knife, but also a stage knife, which collapses upon impact. So, and it's very clear, these two knives, which one is to be picked up. What happens, basically, is that the son intervenes. He goes after the boyfriend. Mom gets up from the table where she's been peeling apples and gets in between them. The son grabs a knife and, in attempting to stab the boyfriend, kills his mother.
Wow.
Yes, and I collapse.
Oh.
So we had rehearsed this play with a young man who, as it happened, a few days before we were to open, was cast in a television show. It was a big break for him, really exciting. And he had been coached by a woman here in town, and she had gotten him this fabulous part. So, of course, he drops out of our play. So much for all the rehearsals.
Oh, God.
So she, and we don't know what we're going to do because we have 2 days, and it's kind of a big part. So she says, don't worry, I've got somebody for you, no problem. And he's going to come over and you can rehearse all day, Friday and part of Saturday. And I don't remember, we had very little rehearsal. No worry, he's learned his lines, he's great. He's, I'm coaching him, he's terrific. So we meet this kid, and he's, eager, feels really insecure, has no experience whatsoever.
Oh, God.
But it's okay because she's a fabulous coach as she presents herself, and she's all over this. She's going to help him with his lines and so forth. So we have the all-day rehearsal. We point out this knife here is the real one. I'm going to be cutting apples. I put it down on this side when I get up to when the fight starts with the two of you and I get in between you and intervene, you grab this one, which is the stage knife that will collapse, and you stab the boyfriend. And I will, scream and collapse because you have killed me, and then you, sob and sob and sob, and end of play. So we have a good dress rehearsal. It works fine. He's very nervous the day of the actual performance, really nervous. So Teddy and I have an extra rehearsal with him just to be sure he's secure on his lines, he's comfortable, and that's great. He picks up the right knife. We finish. Sure enough, the actual show, we everything goes as it should go, and then he and Teddy start going at each other, and he's attacking him, and he, sure enough, unbeknownst to me, because I'm watching them, but Ted Roysam with his sharp eyes sees this kid pick up this knife, not that knife, and
picks up the real knife.
Yeah. And so when they clash, Ted, I don't know how he did it because I didn't see it. I was watching Ted.
Yeah.
And he takes the kid and throws him down. And I, thinking this knife thing has happened, I guess, scream and collapse on the floor.
Without the guy allegedly stabbing you.
Yeah, I assumed that, he forgot that. I didn't know what happened. Yeah. So this kid is sobbing and sobbing and sobbing, and the lights go out.
Oh, God.
And he continues to sob and sob. And Ted and I stand up, and we take our bows as, rehearsed. And the kid is still sobbing and sobbing on the floor. And lights go out again. We go off stage, and Ted says, "Honey, you know how close you came?" I said, "What?" He said, "Damn kid grabbed the wrong knife."
Oh.
That's why he's sobbing.
Oh, I could hear him say that. Yeah. Oh,
and
my
so
gosh.
we go backstage, and the kid is like, "Hey, I'm really sorry, you guys." So Ted, yeah, it's okay. And I'm in shock.
Oh, my God.
And his coach comes up and congratulates him. "You were fabulous. What a job. I can't believe it." Yeah, and we don't say anything because it's a glory night for the kid, and he's got flowers and all this stuff. And I go home, and I tell my husband, who is pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, Ted really, I think he saved my life, because that was a real knife, sharp enough to peel apples. And I later find out from the kid's coach that, she had thought this, sorry about the incident, but she had thought this would be really good for him because he had a lot of emotional problems.
Whoa!
Yeah, the extent of which I will not go into here. But I'm a therapist, and had I known this, I would have said, "No, you
Absolutely
don't do
not.
that.
Yeah.
The acting is not therapy.
Right.
Don't do that.
Right.
You're pushing him over the edge.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the bandwidth emotionally to handle what this story is about." So.
Did you continue to have to perform with him, obviously?
Yeah, we only did it a couple more times. And the thing was weird is that he never seemed the least bit contrite or concerned.
Wow.
Yeah.
He sobbed it all out, and that was
He
that.
sobbed it all out. He
Jeez.
couldn't stand up and take a bow, but he was done.
So quickly, when you're supposed to be stabbed by him.
Yeah.
He's on the ground sobbing.
Yeah.
So you just decided, okay, I guess I got stabbed, and you just fell to the ground.
That's the story. I'm supposed to die. So, yeah.
Even though I wasn't stabbed, but we'll
right,
pretend.
something
Yeah.
happened, I
Something.
presume. Yeah, and I don't know any
I mean,
dialogue.
that alone, you had to make that split-second decision.
yeah.
I have got to die no matter what. He's on the ground. My husband's boyfriend's here. He doesn't kill. Okay, I'm just going to fall and die.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
gosh, Vanna, that is...
It was quite something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's terrifying. And not even funny in that telling. It's just
no.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just couldn't believe how Ted could be so
Right.
alert and
So
present
alert.
and see
Right?
he picked up the wrong one.
Exactly. I mean, my God, with all that he's doing, in his role and his lines and all the rest, it's that peripheral awareness,
Right.
Acute awareness.
Absolutely.
Well, you've got the same. You have brilliant instincts. Now for something completely different. Wasn't Ted in Country Girl with you?
In Country Girl.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And this was one of my favorite shows. It was really a great piece for Ted because he is a brilliant but broken actor dealing with his alcoholism, and this is his chance to come back. It's terrific. And I played his supportive wife who was about to walk out on him, but maybe this one more chance. So this is in the old Artist Repertory Theater space, the third floor of the YWCA, that had, I have to say, minimal production values, but great stuff happened there.
Okay.
And one of the production value problems was that we didn't have a lot of personnel to do this, so we didn't always have things like on the, I think, final dress. This happened at the final dress rehearsal, this incident. The glow tape, which is supposed to be put out by the stage manager so that in the dark you can see where you're headed.
Sure.
And so I am, in the dark, I am entering from the back of the stage with a suitcase, which I carry directly ahead of me to a bed. I put it, which is glow taped, I put it down on the bed, and when the lights come up, it is clear that it's this classic, I'm leaving you,
right.
Packing up my clothing, and I'm going to be in,
Is this the opening scene
This
of the
the
play?
opening scene. It's the opening scene, yeah. So I opened the door in the blackout, and I realized there are no lights.
Oh, God.
It is black as pitch. I can't see any glow tape, but I know that the bed's pretty much straight ahead of me. So carrying the suitcase, I walk diligently forward, and I keep walking, and
God.
the bed is not there. It is not there, and I'm still walking. And the lights are going to come up because the stage manager cannot see me either.
Oh.
So I get to something, and I realize I am right in front of a lady in the front row of the seats. This is a 99-seat house. And she goes, "Ah!" as I put the suitcase down on her lap. And all I can think to say is, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Never mind. It's all right. It's fine. It's fine. It's all right." So I pick up my suitcase and I turn around thinking, okay, the damn bed's got to be here somewhere.
You're still in the dark.
Yeah, I'm still in the dark. And as the light comes up, I am walking over to the bed from the wrong side, but I'm walking over to the bed and I put it down.
Oh, Vanna. How unsettling was that for you to have to go on with the show after that?
I composed myself, but I really worried about that other woman, and I hope that she had a good, strong
I love that you had this private moment in the dark with her.
Yeah.
She's like, whoa.
So I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. Yeah.
No, let me get back in character, please. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
You didn't see her after the show.
No.
She might have said, "Oh, you can leave it here. I don't mind being your bed."
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Gosh. You also, I'm remembering that there was this other show that you did. See, we're talking about the audience and how they inadvertently might get in the way, as did that poor gal.
They occasionally, yeah.
Now we have a story about animals.
Oh, the cat.
Animals and plays.
Yeah. So a theater that is also no longer here was doing a production. It's a big theater, and they were doing a production of Lettuce and Lovage, and in this play, I play a woman who's kind of strange and down and out, living in a basement apartment with a cat. And a woman comes, and she has been working as a tour guide in an English an estate that's showing tourists around, and she's just done a real bad job of it, and she's going to be fired, and she kind of knows that this is going to happen. And her boss is this woman who shows up at her apartment as she expected. She was going to have a little private meeting with her, and so I'm supposed to have a cat that I'm holding in my arms as the woman comes up to ring the doorbell, and I'm supposed to press a button and let her in. And she, as the story is to go, she comes in and screams, I'm allergic to cats, I can't be around cats, and very unnerving, and I take the cat off. So as we were going through rehearsals, the artistic director said, I think it'd be just a really swell idea if we let our patrons, particularly, our patrons who are very loyal to us every year, if we let them have a lottery to suggest they're going to offer their cats, and we will then choose the best cat for you. And
a real cat, not a stuffed animal. He wanted to have a real cat.
A real cat, yeah. And so I said, well, I have cats, and it's not a real good idea unless I can get used to the cat.
Yeah.
Well, that's not possible, he said, because, it'll take us a while to put the word out to our patrons, and then they'll let us know what kind of cat they have, and then we'll have a lottery, choose the cat, and then you have the cat to work with. And I said, when? They said, well, probably not until dress rehearsal week. I said, I that's really not, but I'm not feeling like I can be pushing this guy around, because for one thing, he bought my equity card, and I said, I don't want to be a diva about this, but okay. So we'll find a nice cat for. So.
Why do I have the feeling that, okay, yes.
So the cat arrives, the patron brings it in a cage, and I'm backstage, and I have like an hour to get ready, and I'm watching this cat who's watching me, and this cat doesn't look docile one bit. So I open the door, I'm backstage, and I'm ready to go on, but I take the cat out, and the cat is like shrinking farther and farther in the back of this cage and snarling, snarling.
Oh, no.
Here, kitty, here, kitty, 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 here, nice kitty, come on, kitty, kitty, kitty. And the cat, so I reach in and get the cat. The cat is tense, and the paws are going all over the place.
God.
Come on, kitty, 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 because I got like 2 minutes before. Take the cat out.
Do you have long sleeves on?
I have a long-sleeved cream white silk blouse.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So I get this cat in my arms, and I'm gently petting it, and this cat is getting more and more tense, and its little paws are coming out like this. Think, okay, this has got to be fast. This has got to be fast. So I go out on stage. I'm standing by the phone. The cat's going. That's okay. That's okay. I'm still doing this. It's fast. This will be fast. So the lights come up. I see the other character walking to the doorbell. I've got this cat that I'm just barely containing. It's like climbing on my head now. And she rings the doorbell, and that does it. The cat, whatever that noise just set her off. And so she then starts to rake my arms with her claws, ripping this blouse. Blood is pouring down my arms.
God.
And the cat's shrieking and shrieking. And it's like so many of these nightmare moments. It's time out of time.
Yes.
Everybody's watching. You are being mauled by a vicious monster cat, and there's not a damn thing. So I just took this, and I thought, because there's dialogue about this cat that is coming, and it is not happening. So I just took this cat and hurled it off stage at the stage manager. She grabbed this thing. The cat ran off into the bowels of the theater. I didn't care. I never want to see that damned animal in my life. And I stood there dripping blood.
Oh, my God.
And yeah. And the actress, I pushed, the actress came in, and she not knowing any of this at all. And she sees her fellow actor standing there bleeding. And I don't know exactly what the dialogue was. It went on something like, she was a very experienced, great actress, and she said, "Oh, it seems you it seems you've had a cat here." Said, "Yes, and it's gone now." Some stupid thing like that.
Blood-sucking little
Yes.
thing.
And then so she tries rapidly to get back to the script of, "Oh, well, that's good because I'm allergic to cats." Well, anticipating that, I took the cat to another room while you were en route. And that was the end of that. And I just remember going afterwards up to the damned artistic director and saying, "I told you that was going to happen. I said that." "Oh, well, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." "Yeah, you're sorry, and I'm bleeding to death. And I have to, yeah.
Did you have to get stitches?
No.
Did you? But
No, but
it's so painful.
my arm
cat
was
scratch.
just raped.
Oh my God! I'm sure.
Yeah. It was horrible. That is
Vanna.
why most stage plays do not include an animal.
No,
of
not a
any
live
kind.
animal.
No.
So did you get to use a stuffed cat from then on?
I said, "I'm getting my cat,
Yeah.
and I'm bringing
Oh.
my cat, and you can tell your patron tough beans because I'm not using that cat again,
Where
or
was-
anybody else's cat, but my own docile old cat."
Where was Kitty Valium when you need it?
Oh my God!
I mean that.
Yeah, because my cat was chill. It's like,
Sure.
oh, yeah,
But your arms the wounds
Yeah.
had to heal.
right.
Oh, poor Vanna, but the show must go on, and you kept at it.
What was so funny is that the audience who sees all of this,
Yes.
it was the first preview, I think. These people came up and they said, "Oh, that was so brave of you. You were so wonderful."
What were those blood packs in your blouse that created the...
Yeah.
Right? They're just so willing to suspend disbelief.
And they always wonder, was that supposed to happen?
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, I always have my arms torn to shreds.
Yeah.
If need be, it's in the script. The script says, please have the cat go berserk. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh, Vanna.
It's a great moment.
Oh, my. Well, thank you so much for sharing these
Oh,
today,
you
Vanna.
are welcome. It's lovely to go down memory lane.
I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for tuning into The Actor's Nightmare. If you have a story you'd like to share and want to be on the show, it's really easy. Just record it into your phone and send it in an email to actorsnightmarepodcast@gmail.com. And remember to subscribe to the Actor's Nightmare podcast. You can go to our website at www.actorsnightmarepodcast.com, choose subscribe, and then choose the platform that you like to use to listen to podcasts. Please subscribe if you like what you hear. And again, I want to thank our sponsors, Artist Repertory Theater, Portland's premier regional theater company, and to Bob Conklin, an ardent sponsor of all things theatrical here in Portland. And finally, to Realestats, providing statistical overviews for residential real estate in Oregon and Washington. This is Luann Moldovan. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time on The Actor's Nightmare.